Guys, Movie-holics Anonymous here to review Blade Runner 2049. So, this movie is 2 hours and 44 minutes long, and so I have 3 different ratings for this movie because of its pacing. First half rating, second half rating, overall. First half, I would give a 3.25 out of 5 because it is an entertaining movie. It's thinking man sci-fi, so it's very slow paced, and I lost interest 3 or 4 times, and I really try to pay attention. I don't need an action scene in every single scene in a movie to enjoy it. And I really try to appreciate all the details, and I feel like I'll appreciate the first half more in a second viewing. But at the same time, it's hard to stay invested in this world that's so well realized visually. It's perfect visually, like it's the standard for what visual effects it should be about futuristic settings, in my opinion. It should win the Oscar for best visual effects and best cinematography, no questions asked, because it is just a gorgeous film to look at. But this world is interesting. The characters are interesting to a point, but the way that it's dragged out in the first half, I feel like 10-15 minutes or so could have been cut, and it would have just made the pacing tighter, and it would have made the storyline even better, I feel like, and it would have made it have even more of a punch. And I feel like at 2.5 hours or less, this movie would have been perfect. Now, that's just my opinion. I know other people disagree because some people already think it's perfect. And the original Blade Runner has slow pacing, but this movie, the pacing took me out of it more than the original's pacing did. The first half, there's enough going on that I stayed in Blade Runner. I feel like it's not as well paced, not as well written as the original Blade Runner was in the first half. Now, the stuff they established and developed throughout the first half that goes into the second half is fully realized in the second half, and it develops so well. I feel like the second half is a masterpiece, but not the first half. The second half, I would give like a high 4.75 out of 5. I have some problems with it because there are some scenes where they objectify women that really are out of place, some of them, and some where I really think they could have cut them out and it wouldn't have made a difference. Now, some of them were important to the storyline. I think there's an entire movie of the several scenes there are that they needed to keep in, and there are some plot points that they drop suddenly in the last act. But I mean, I also like the fact that it seems like it's building up to this big battle that you've seen before, and instead you get this intimate 3-person fight going on at the end of the movie. And it's an all-out battle to the death, and it's really epic and intense, suspenseful, very brilliantly directed in the last act. And I love the emotional core of this movie. Harrison Ford brings a lot of heart to this movie, and so does Ryan Gosling with his strong performance. They both give great performances. They both play well off of each other. They both have so much humanity, so much just in their eyes, the way they act, that make you buy into the heart of this movie and make you care about whether or not they achieve their quest. And I feel like the end of this movie is beautiful, visually, emotionally, character development-wise. It fit everything they did in the first act, everything in the second act and third act. And I feel like the ending is beautiful in its own way, and it is different. And I enjoyed what they did with the second half because it's where you get most of what the advertising is. Lots of action, lots of suspense, lots of drawn out suspenseful things. That's what I love about the second half versus the first half, is you have more drawn out suspenseful things that just leave you on the edge of your seat than the first half, where everything kind of happens really fast and it's over. And so I enjoy this movie a lot. I don't think it's the greatest movie ever made. I think it's one of the best movies of the year, and I think it's something that you can watch again and again to get layers of meaning, and there's probably a bunch that I missed about it. But I'd give it a 4 out of 5 as a whole because it is a meaningful movie. It is dark, it is visceral, it is heartfelt, and I really did care a lot about the end of this movie and the characters and their quest, and I really did enjoy a lot of this movie. I just wish the pacing was tighter. And so as a whole, it's one of the best movies of the year, but not the best movie ever. And so, as I said, 4 out of 5. I would totally watch it again, rent it, but I'm not gonna watch it like a million times or anything because it's really long. But so did you guys see Blade Runner 2049? Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of it. Let me know what you think of this review too. Till the next video, guys. Talk to you later.